Right then, lads.
They'll be ranking each Premier League's transfer rumours to happen this summer.
No method of our going straight with Arsenal, and we've said Ben White for 40 million.
Yeah, we think this will be a good transfer for Arsenal as they are lacking in defence, especially when David Luiz will probably move into another Premier League club and Saliba probably won't play another game for Arsenal after the incident. We've given it as a 9 out of 10 probability to happen.
Next up, with Aston Villa, I would say Emil Smith-Rowe for £25 million.
For Aston Villa to be a great signing, but again, it's quite funny now that Aston Villa are shopping around Arsenal for their best players with Smith Rowe. A big potential, but I don't think that probably would happen. I don't think Arsenal will let Smith Rowe go, especially how that's probably one of their best players. So we've only given it 6 out of 10 probability to happen. Now on to newly promoted Brentford, looking around for a new centre back, David Luiz. We've given it'll be a free transfer, and I think it'll be a good move.
It will be an okay move because he is obviously getting old and obviously was very out of form at Arsenal, and the fact that that he is out of form at Arsenal, who are not doing very well, we think that he'll be better at Brentford because it's obviously a worse team. But we've given it a 5 out of 10 probability because he is on his last year of his contract, and yeah.
Now on to Brighton, again going to stick with the centre back theme. Nat Phillips, the GOAT from Liverpool after an amazing season with them. But I don't think Liverpool are going to need him anymore, especially with the overload of centre back for 15 million to Brighton.
Yeah, 50 million is very, very pricey for a defender with not a lot of experience. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10 probability, and it'll be a decent transfer for Brighton with obviously the replacement for Ben White and their lack in the defensive role. Now, moving to Burnley, we have said Pavlenka for £10 million.
Yeah, I think Pavlenka would be good, especially that Pope is linked with Tottenham. However, we haven't put that as the rumour.
So yeah, now on to Chelsea, a very clear one, Haaland for 150 million.
Of course, Haaland would be great for them, but I think 150 million is a lot for someone who's on their last year of a contract. And if they could wait another year, they can get about 60 million next year, as it'll be the last year of his contract, and that'll be a lot better move for Chelsea. Now on to Crystal Palace. Not a player this time, but in fact the manager to replace Roy Hodgson, who has retired, and the Vieira. This is very probable to happen, but I don't think it'll be the best move just because Vieira doesn't have much experience, and Crystal Palace just needs someone who is ready just to start a new squad and rebuild the club.
It will be not the best move for the Roy Hodgson, but it'll be okay because he'll bring in some young French talent. Obviously, being a midfielder, being one of the most all-round midfielders ever in the Premier League, he knows how to attack, he knows how to defend. So I reckon he'll be a good manager to bring in young players and players who will make a big impact into that Crystal Palace side.
Now on to Everton, another manager, but this time a bit of a controversial one. Rafa Benitez, once a Liverpool Champions League winning manager, now going to the rivals Everton.
Yeah, this move will be an okay move because we thought that Ancelotti was a great manager with obviously experience in a lot of different leagues. But obviously, Rafa Benitez also has a lot of experience. It's a 9 out of 10 probability. It's very likely to happen. And yeah, now on to Leeds. We think that it will be Firpo, the Barcelona fullback, for £30 million.
I don't think this would be a great signing. 30 million does seem like quite a bit for Leeds, who don't have the most money to just be spending on any random player. Yes, he is a Barcelona footballer. That's why the price is a bit higher. But I don't think it'll be a great move. And we've only given it a 3 out of 10 probability.
Now on to Leicester's transfer, Patson Daka for 40 million.
This is already confirmed now. But so we've given it a 10 out of 10. I think it'll be a good player, especially if Vardy's losing it and probably coming to the end of his career. Now, on to Liverpool. One that I would like to say is a 10 out of 10, but it is Kylian Mbappe. We've put him for 200 million, probably even cheaper after the penalty, but I think it'll be a great move.
It will be a great move, but 200 million is very pricey. You can get a lot more players for the price of Mbappe, but you can't complain with Mbappe. He's 22 years old and is already seen as one of the best in the world.
That's why we've given it only a 3 out of 10 likeliness, just because either Liverpool aren't the club to spend big money on one player. Now on to Man City, another big move with going from a Premier League club, Harry Kane, for 130 million.
This is obviously going to be a very good move for Man City, but we can't talk about this move without mentioning Jack Grealish as well. But let's just focus on Kane for a bit. We have given this a 9 out of 10 probability because it is confirmed that he does want to leave Spurs with a lot of years at the club without winning a trophy. Now, onto Manchester United, another confirmed transfer, which you probably guessed it, Jadon Sancho for 100 million. Well, now I think it's about 80 or 70 million. Still a very good transfer though.
Yeah, I think I'm from a Liverpool fan. I'm happy that he's come into the Premier League just to prove his quality. Just because I know he's doing great in the Bundesliga, but when he plays for England, he's not the best. So we'll have to see his actual quality in a big league.
Now for Newcastle, we've said Rafa Silva, the Portuguese player from Benfica. We said it's still for 45 million.
Yeah, again, I don't feel like Rafa should be going to a Newcastle, especially when they've already got, say, Maximum in a similar position, unless they do move Maximum to a striker. But I don't think it'd be a great move for either or, because that's only really given it a 2 out of 10 probability. Now, on to Norwich. Again, newly promoted, and again, another confirmed one. Billy Gilmour on loan. It's a 10 out of 10 for us probability because it's already happened, of course. And I think it'd be a great one for both. Gilmour needs experience, and Norwich need a player who can pull the strings on midfield.
This is just a win-win deal because obviously Chelsea won't play him as much because they have a lot of quality in the midfield of players like Kante, Kovacic and Jorginho. Norwich, being newly promoted into the Premier League, they're going to need to rebuild that side. And Billy Gilmour played quite well in the Euros. So let's see how he gets on with the newly promoted side in Norwich. Now, for Southampton, we've said that this player's already here, obviously Minamino, but he's currently out on loan. We've said that they should purchase him for £18 million.
I think this would be a good move for Minamino himself because he won't get much playing time, especially if Liverpool are linked with Mbappe. But for Southampton, I don't think it'd be the best just because he didn't have the best loan spell. So I think 18 million is a lot for a player who is a bit of a risky one. But it is quite likely to happen as he's already been on loan there. 8 out of 10 probability.
Now, on to Tottenham.
What do we think of Tottenham? Shit! What do we think of shit? Tottenham! Thank you! Thank
you! Which we said will be Frank Kessie or Kessier from AC Milan. He will be worth about 50 million and we think he'll be a decent move for Tottenham.
Yeah, I feel like Tottenham do lack in midfield. That's the big problem with them. I mean, they lack everywhere. I think they shouldn't be spending that much in midfield, especially a Harry Kane probably will be leaving. So I think they should be looking out for an out-and-out striker instead. That's why we've given it 7 out of 10 probability because Kessie wants to leave and Spurs are willing to pay the money, especially if they get a big payday from Kane. Now on to Watford. They're linked with signing Glenn Kamara from Rangers, a player who's been highly praised in the Scottish League, but we'll have to see what he could do in the Premier League for 10 million.
This won't be a great deal as obviously he'll be a new player to the Premier League and we don't know what he's like. And also for Watford, a team that get relegated, obviously they just got recently promoted, but they probably will get relegated again. But let's see how Glenn Kamara does in this new Watford squad.
Now on to West Ham. They are linked with signing their loanee Lingard for 35 million. That's what United have given West Ham the deal of, which we think will be not the best signing, just because 35 million is a lot of money for Lingard, who probably will be only a one-season wonder. And as soon as you put that pressure on him, he probably will crumble then.
It obviously will be a good move for Man United because it's a lot of money, but not as well for West Ham. And it's about a 7 out of 10 probability for a player who proved himself onto the back end of the season. And if they do sign him, it will be good towards their attack, but it won't be good because it is a lot of money for a player like Lingard. Now, on to Wolves. Of course, they're going to sign yet another Portuguese player in José Sá. He's a goalkeeper who plays for Olympiacos, I believe. And we think it's a great move because Patricio is practically confirmed at Roma.
Well, that's all the teams done. By the time the video out, probably there's another signing happening. But that's all from us.
I'll catch you in a bit.